That's one. At the outset, I thank the organizers of the Swatantra Bharat 75 series of lectures organized by Vivekananda Kendra of Kanyakumari and Vivekananda Prabodhini of Mumbai for giving me this opportunity to share some of my ideas. Today the topic is how to understand the Puranic narratives. Actually, the talk is divided into two parts. The first part is how to understand the Puranic narratives, and second part is the evolution of Earth in Srimad Bhagavata Purana. The Vedas, the Itihasas, Ramayana and Mahabharata and Puranas are the triad of Indian classical texts. For a devout Hindu, the Vedas are the words of God, Apaurushaya, passed on to people periodically through the rishis or sages. They help men in fulfilling their mundane needs and to reach God. The text is terse and it is difficult to understand the Vedas without the help of its special grammar called Nirukta. They are essentially esoteric verses on Devas, Brahman, Prakriti or nature, cosmogony, cosmology of the different worlds, and to some extent about the lineage of kings. For outsiders, the Vedas are merely prayers on gods composed by Aryans around 1500 BCE. The Ramayana and Mahabharata, together they are known as Itihasa. Iti thus Hasa happened. They are the historical narratives of the epic periods, and the main persons are often divine. They narrate the incidents which happened during their period. They are widely separated by time. Ramayana gives information about Treta Yuga end and Mahabharata about Dwapara Yuga end. They provide information on the geography of the land, political, social, cultural, and religious life of the people during the epic periods. For outsiders, the Indian epics are unsubstantiated narratives or even stories. The Puranas. Traditional view is Pura Nava. It is very old but amenable to new ideas. Puranas are the most misunderstood and misinterpreted texts. Similar to the Vedas, the Puranas are passed from Lord Narayana to Brahma and from Brahma to different rishis in each Manvantara and Catur Yuga beginning. There is an interesting verse in Vayu Purana extolling the importance of the Purana. Yo Vidyas Chaturo Vedana Sa Anga Upanishato Dvijaha Nachet Puranam Samvidyanedva Sasyat Vichakshana. Itikasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samubha Brahmayeti Vibed Alpasutadvado Vedo Mamayam Praharishati. The Brahman who may know the four Vedas with Angas and Upanishads should not really be regarded as having attained proficiency if he should not thoroughly know the Purana. He should reinforce the Veda with Itikasa and Purana. The Vedas is afraid of him who is deficient in tradition, thinking he is going to harm me. The Puranas have five main components: Sargascha, Pratisargascha, Vamso, Manvantaranicha, Vamsanu Charitam Chet, Puranam Panchalakshanam. They are description of the primary creation, secondary creation and dissolution, the genealogy of rishis and devas, the periods of Manus and the royal dynasties. There are 18 Mahapuranas and they are grouped into three. One, Vaishnava Purana. They are also known as Sattvika Purana as they were written in Sattvika Kalpas. They are Vishnu, Narada, Bhagavata, Garuda, Padma and Varaha Puranas. Then Saiva Puranas, they are also known as Tamasa Puranas as they were written during the period of Tamasa Kalpa. Matsya, Kurma, Shiva, Linga, Skanda and Agni belong to this group. Then Brahma Purana, they are also known as Rajasa Purana and they were written during the period when Rajasic Guna was predominant during the Kalpa. They are Brahma, Brahmanda, Brahma Vaivartaka, Markandeya, Bhavishya, and Vamana. There are many Upapuranas, among them Nrsimha, Saura, Devi Bhagavatam, and Kalika Mahapurana are important. India's view that Puranas are mainly mythological stories with a lot of inner inconsistencies. Their antiquity is often questioned by them. The period of writing of many of these Puranas is assigned between 2nd century BCE to 8th century CE. Vance Kennedy opines, since bhakti is the purpose of the Puranas, the inconsistencies can be tolerated. Cunningham, Alexander Cunningham, Colebrook, H.H. Wilson, F.E. Parthsarathi, and D.C. Sarkar find that Puranas are fit to be used in the reconstruction of ancient Indian history. Actually, there are no inconsistencies. Mostly, they can be easily reconciled because the information about one particular event is distributed in a number of Puranas. So if we read many Puranas, we will be able to reconstruct the story properly and the inconsistencies will disappear. Sanatana Dharma can be explained in 5 sets of 4 ideas. They are Purushartha, Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. 4 Vedas, Rig, Yajus, Sama, and Atharvana. 4 Varnas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. And 4 Asrama, Brahmacharya, Grihastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyasa. And 5th group is Mata, Pita, Guru, Daiva. Life of people are bound within these 20 aspects. Nature, Prakriti, soul, Jiva, and God, Brahman, are the fundamental units of the universe according to Hindu philosophy. This idea is well pronounced in Vedas and elaborated in the Puranas. The Jiva in his journey through Prakriti after various births reaches the Brahman. To achieve this, the Vedas are given to him. During his worldly experiences, he practices the 4 ways of life, that is the ashramas, brahmacharya, grihastha, vanaprastha, and sannyasa, by adopting one of the mode of living approved by the Vedas, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, or Sudra. In this way, the Jiva not only enjoys the 3 Purusharthas, Dharmartha, Kama, during this life, and after death attains liberation, moksha, and attains the 4th path. To achieve this, he is guided by Mata, Pita, Guru, and Deva. To transcend Prakriti, Jiva should know the nature of Prakriti. The Puranas, mainly through their Panchalakshana character, try to educate him. The Puranas are many and voluminous, and we are not able to understand the ideas unless we understand the narrative style of the Purana. Here we find 2 sheets of an atlas. One is one map denoting India, a colored map, and Bhutan, another one, this black and white map. We have multiple colors are given, and many other features are represented by some conventional signs and symbols in the India map, and so also in the black and white map. But we also find the Bhutan is a small country and India is a large one, but in the atlas, each one occupies the same amount of space that we can see from the sheet. But actually they are not same. So to know the details properly in an atlas sheet, we must know the color scheme, we must know the conventional signs and symbols, how different features are represented. Then only we will understand the features present in atlas. Similarly, to understand the information in the Puranas, we had to have a clear understanding of their narrative style. First idea, we have to understand the time scale and yuga system. The word yuga is made up of 2 letters, U to join, Ga to move. Time flows and joins all incidences and phenomena on the globe. There is another word called Kala. Ka refers to the expansion of the universe. La refers to laya or contraction of the universe. This implies that universe and all creation in universe are subjected to creation, Srishti, and destruction, that is Laya. Each phenomenon of the universe is set to a differential time scale from micro to macro. The creation and destruction are spiral, cyclical, and permanently repetitive. The changes in the universe are natural. Often order is restored by a supernatural force, that is God, whenever necessary. The subdivisions within a year, Nimosha, Kashta, Muhurta, Jama, Dina, Saptaham, that is week, then Paksha, Masa, and Varsha are well defined and measurable as they are connected to the earth's rotation and revolution around the sun. Indologists and historians are confused as the further concept presented in Puranas and Mahabharata are conceptual. The Vedic Yuga system of Vedanga Jyotisha of Nagada consisting of a 5-year cycle. This 5-year Vedic cycle mainly created for the purpose of sacrifices. They are Samvatsara, Parivatsara, Idavatsara, Anuvatsara, Idvatsara, or Vatsara. The cycle is also known as Magha cycle as it starts when Magha star is in Kumbha Masa between January and February. There is another Yuga system that's called Human Yuga system. It consists of 4 Yugas: Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Krita Yuga. The number of years belonging to each type is in the ratio of 1:2:3:4. The shortest Yuga is Kali Yuga, consisting of 4,32,000 human years, or in other words, 4,32,000 revolution of earth around the sun. In Brahmanda Purana, Brahma fixes the lowest unit of time, Yuga scale, as 4,32,000 Kali Yuga, 4,32,000 human years, based on the number of syllables in Rig Veda. Then Dwapara Yuga, 8,64,000 doubling. Then Treta Yuga, 3 times, 12,96,000 human years or revolutions. Then Krita Yuga, 17,28,000 human years. And one Catur Yuga is for 43,20,000 human years. Then next level, a Manvantara, a period of Manu or period between 2 Manus is 72 Catur Yugas, which is equal to 306 million years approximately. Then 14 Manvantaras make one Kalpa, which is 1 day time of Brahma. And we have got a concept of night time of Brahma, which is equal to the daytime of Brahma, that is, in other words, 306 million years. Now it is, in other words, 14 Manu into 306 million years is equal to 4.3 billion years, which is the 1 day time of Brahma and also 1 night time of Brahma. So the Brahma's life is 4.3 billion years, daytime of Brahma, into 2, which includes the night time, into 360 days. Now it's not like earthly year 365 days, it is only 360 days, into 100 is equal to 2,062,560 billion years, human years are the life of Brahma. There is another scale called Deva Varsha scale. Here, 1 human year is equal to 1 day for Devas. 360 Deva days make 1 Deva Varsha. Here also, Krita, Treta, Dwapara, Kali Yuga system is there. Krita Yuga is consisting of 4,000 Deva Varshas plus 400 plus 400. That is, these are the Sandhi and Amsa, because from daytime to night time, the transition will not be sudden. Instead of that, it will be gradual. This gradual evening or twilight period is called Sandhi and Amsa in Bhagavata, whereas in other Puranas, both the periods are known as Sandhi only. So the Sandhi is 10% of the Yuga time. So Krita Yuga, 4,000 plus 400 plus 400, 4,800 Deva Varshas with Amsa Sandhi. And Treta Yuga, 3000 Devavarsha plus 300 plus 300, 3600 Devavarsha. And Dwapara Yuga, 2000 Devavarsha plus 200 plus 200, 2400 Devavarsha. Then Kali Yuga, 1000 Devavarsha plus 100 plus 100, 1200 Devavarsha. So one Mahayuga or one Chaturyuga is equal to 12,000 Devavarsha. And if it is multiplied by 360, it is equal to 43,20,000 human years. According to this, one Manvantara is 12,000 into 72, that is equal to 8,64,000 Devavarsha. One Kalpa is 1,000 to 12,000 into 72 into 14 Manu, which is equal to 12,096,000 Devavarsha. Now we are in Adi Varaha Kalpa and we are in the 7th Manu period. So from the day of the first Manu, so far the time elapsed is 6,787,000 Devavarsha. 787,000 Devavarsha. Then there is a Puranic time frame of Vaivaswata Manu, present Manu, first Manu Swayambhuva Manu, second Manu Swarochisha, third Manu Uttama, Tamasa, Raivata, Chakshusa, and presently seventh Manu is then Vaivaswata Manu. After that, another 7 Manu, Savarnika Manus will come. So their period is, each one is about 306 billion. But in the case of Vaivaswata Manu, we are in the 28th Chatur Yuga, beginning of the 28th Kali, which is so far the time elapsed is 120 million years. About this system, we will see in the next lecture more. 14 Manu period is one Kalpa, is one day time of Brahma. The time scale and Yuga system with reference to precision cycle. The Puranas and Mahabharata referred to in some occasions the 12,000 year time scale called Devavarsha or Devariya. Some Indian scholars opine that 12,000 year time scale is genuine and useful for Indic studies rather than the long 43,20,000 time scale. The scholars also use ascending and descending cycle, Utsarpini, Avasarpini, as one unit and adjust the number of years. For in the case of most of the Puranas, the Yuga system is Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga. After that, only another Krita Yuga starts. But in this system, 12,000 year system, they what these gurus, many of the philosophical gurus, actually modern gurus have accepted, is that after the Kali Yuga, this is the descending cycle. After that, ascending cycle of 4 yugas. So Krita Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Kali Yuga, which will be followed by another Kali Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, Treta Yuga, and Krita Yuga. So according to tradition, according to most of the Puranas, according to Sankalpa, religious Sankalpa, what we say daily, Adya Brahmanaha, Dvitiya Parate, Sri Svetavaraha Kalpe, Vaivaswata Manvantare, Ashtavimsati Tame, Kali Yuge, Pratame Pate. We are in the 28th Kali and the beginning of the first quarter of the Kali Yuga, according to our tradition. Most of the Puranas also approve this time. Whereas according to these people, we are now in the end of Dwapara Yuga, and then in the next 50 years, we will go to Treta Yuga. So that difference is there. So many people adjust this. Many people adjust the 24,000 to 28,000 up to 28,800 years to adjust with the precision cycle of equinox our Earth. And some people say it is the precision cycle of sun around another sun. According to their precision cycle, they twist the time period of Manvantara and Kalpa. However, this scale is insufficient to explain the periods of evolution on Earth and changes in continents and oceans and other geographical changes which are slow and take a longer time. According to this system, the age of Earth is merely 67,83,000 years only, which is far too low to explain the changes on the earth's surface as reported in the Puranas. According to Puranas, most of the Puranas, according to human year scale, now we more than about 2,000 million years have passed, and there are other more years, that is with reference to the previous Kalpa, which is also connected to with us, this earth, that is a Padma Kalpa. So the age of earth is around this Kalpa, this day of Brahma is equal to about 3 billion years. Whereas according to this 12,000 year system, it is merely 67 lakhs 83,000 years, which is far too low to explain any changes on geography. Aspects of the Purana: nature. Nature, language, and God are three essential aspects of Indian classical text explicitly dealt in the Puranas. The preservation and appreciation of nature is as important as worshipping of God. Everywhere, rivers, mountains, and forests are praised. The stories of Vena, Prutu, Prachina Barhi, and Prachetas reveal this idea clearly. This we will see in the next lecture elaborately. Among the 5 components of Puranas, the first 4, Sarga, Pratisarga, Vamse, Manvantaradi, 4, explain changes in physical geography of the earth. And the 5th one, Vamsanucharitam, refers to human geography aspect, the evolution of man and royal lineage on Bharatavarsha. The concept of Dasavatar and Devasura wars are beautifully depicted and useful in conveying difficult geographical concepts. Aspects of the Purana, the language. In India, the mantras are the words of God given through the rishis. The Itihasas and Puranas are written and updated by the rishis. Mostly, they are in the verse form, set to many meters. Donating copies of the Puranas is considered a great act of punya. When Emperor Harshavardhana's father Prabhakara was in sickbed, he made provision for reading Vayu Purana in all places. Likewise, reading Mahabharata to people during war periods, reading Virata Parva of Mahabharata during famine periods are common in India. The rishis were great scholars in Sanskrit. Later, the Puranas were written in various scripts, Nagari, Pali, Grantha, etc. Most of the historians and Indologists do not have the required knowledge in Sanskrit, and they rely on Western translations only. Even scholars interpret the same passage differently. For example, this is not only in this sloka is found in Srimad Bhagavatam, but also in other Puranas. Yavat parikshito janma yavan nandhabhishechanam yetad varshasakasram tu nyeyam panchadashottaram. From the birth of Parikshit to the period of Nanda, it is to be known that 1015 years have elapsed. Commentators of Vishnu Purana take this as 1015 years, of Vayu Purana 1050 years, of Matsya Purana as 1500 years, and of Bhagavata Purana 1115 years. Panchadashottaram, Varsha Sakasram to Panchadashottaram. Based on this, Indic scholars decide the period of Nanda around 1500 BCE. That is, if we take the Mahabharata war happened in 3102 BCE, then that was the time of Parikshit also. From there, 1500 years if you deduct, it will be 1500 BCE will be the period of Nanda. But many people associate Nanda and Chandragupta Maurya to the period of Alexander, that is the 4th century BCE. Now, those people who associate the Nanda with Alexander, they take the period from Nanda to Parikshit as 1000 year only. So they assigned the Mahabharata war to be 1000 BCE or 1100 BCE. The knowledge of Vedic time scale is also very necessary. That is, during the Vedic period, there was no clock to know the exact time. Instead, they used the sun, movement of the sun, and stars and moon to know the time. What they have done is, for every small unit of time, beginning with Naligai or Kashta, which is covering about 24 minutes, and 2 Katas make 1 Muhurta. Like that, above more than that, we have got the Jama, the 3 Jamas in the daytime and 3 Jamas night time. Like that, then we have got a full night time and daytime and a week, Paksha, like that. So everything is given a name. For example, Rochano, Rochamana, Shobhana, Shobhana, Kalyanaha. This is a mantra usually accompanied whenever a present is given to somebody in a function. But this actually the words represent Rochano, Rochamanaka, Shobhana, Shobhamana, Kalyanaka are different muhurtas in a day. So the blessing is that all muhurtas become good for you. So in this way, we find this is found also in Katakam, a mantra portion in the Krishna Yajurveda. So here there is reference to 60 kashtas in our Nadigai in a day. Then 15 Suklapaksha day Tithi, 15 Krishnapaksha day Tithi, and Suklapaksha night, Krishnapaksha night, 12 Suklapaksha day itself, Paksham days, and like that 12 years, 13 months of the year, then 6 Kratu, 3 Rutu, altogether 360 names or units of time is given in Vedas. And they are profusely used in Puranas and Itihasa. So, an Indologist must possess the knowledge of this so that he can understand the Purana and properly. Then again, Raha, Kuhu, Sinivali, Amavasya. This Raga, Kuhu, Sinivali are the words usually we are associated with the among the 10 nadis. These are the 3 important nadis in our body. But they are also referred to, Raka also known as the full moon day, Purnamasya. And then Kuhu and Sinivali are are known as morning and evening period of a day. And Amavasya we know new moon day. So these use of these words also we should understand contextually what they mean. Otherwise, we cannot understand the purport of the passage in the Purana. And next, another thing is, in Vedic period, based on the condition of crop or plant in a particular season or in a month, names are given. Madhu, Madhava, Urja, Sakas, like that. 12 months are given 12 different names. So these are also used in the Puranas and Itihasas. So we should know these words also, what they mean. Then only we can understand the Puranas. And then there is Nakshatra Homa is there. It's connected to Ayush Homa. See, for the longevity and the birthday of everybody, the homas are performed, and in which the stars and their Atidevata and Pratyadevata are invoked, and then oblations are given. And many times in Itihasa Puranas, people, instead of referring to the star of a person or of a day, they will refer to the Atidevata of the star. So that also we must be conversant. For example, in Valmiki Ramayana, in the Balakanda 17th Sarka, Rama's birth is given. So Nakshatro Atidhi Devasya. Nakshatra, the presiding deity of the nakshatra, which is Atiti. So Punarvasu is the nakshatra, Rama was born, and then the Atidevata is Atiti. So that is given reference in the sloka and not the Punarvasu star itself. And next is Sarpe Jatau Saumitrau. The Shatrughna and Lakshmana were born in the Aslesha star, and presiding deity of Aslesha star is Adisesha, so Sarpa. Like that, in this way, they use the Paryaya words, the synonyms, so we should be conversant with those words. Another interesting thing is the birth of Krishna. In Brahmavaivartaka Purana and one or two Puranas, the full details of Krishna's birth is given. That is, date Ashtami, the Krishna Paksha, Ashtami, midnight, so the star also, Rohini star, everything is given. But whereas in Bhagavata, it is not given, all the things. They are given, but in a nutshell. That is, for example, they use the word Jayanti. Usually the word Jayanti refers to the birthday. But here, it also specifically refers to the Rohini star and in the Krishna Paksha Ashtami. So this particular knowledge we should possess so that we can understand the passage. And one more thing, Nisi. It's also Bhagavad Gita. Krishna was born in Nisi. Nisi has two meanings. One is the night time of any day, and another thing that Nadigai or Kashta, which is about half an hour or 24 minutes before midnight. So such words and such usages we should be acclimatized so that we can understand the Puranas. The style of the Puranas. Another aspect of the Purana, God. Puranas are classified into three groups, we already said. And each, that is Rajasa, Tamasa, Sattvika Puranas, and each sectarian group, the deity is praised as the supreme deity, causing the Srishti, Sthiti, and Samhara. Apart from prayers, merit of pilgrimages, dana, festivals, icons of the deities, installation of the deities, etc. are mentioned. Then style of the Puranas. Usually, the style of the narratives are in the form of a dialogue, either primary dialogue or secondary dialogue. Characters in a Purana express their ideas in the form of parables, transmuted parables, allegorical or symbolic language, and straight conversation or statement. Parables are used to simplify idea. Within a story, and the central idea will be conveyed. Present. Transmuted parable is used when multiple ideas are explained in a story. For example, the Puranjanan story in Srimad Bhagavata. In this story, it describes about the Deva, a Jiva and his life. So Jiva is referred to as a fort, and the body is referred to as fort. The body has 9 openings, so the fort has got 9 important gates. So all other things associated with the life of a person, the mind, the buddhi, everything is actually is compared to a different aspect, and a wholesome simile is given. That is transmuted parable. The third is symbolism. Concepts which are difficult to understand are made simple by symbolism. The color of a deity, the ornaments, the number of consorts, the vahana, etc. refer to respective concepts connected to the deity. The most ridiculed image of the turtle, elephant, and serpent indeed represents a sublime symbolism of earth structure, continental drift, and mass extinction of species. Narration. Usually, the prayers upon a deity, for example, on Vishnu in Bhagavata Purana by Dhruva, Gajendra, Narada, Brahma, Indra, and Rishis, belong to this category of expression. Moreover, a description of vrata, pilgrimage, puja, dana, duty of householder, sannyasi, rajaniti, dharma teaching, etc. are also given in this way. Here we show the Dashavatara in where every avatar is in different color, they all denote some symbolic meaning. Pralaya and night of Brahma. Srishti and Pralaya are the two extremes of one phenomenon. Srishti can be classified into two groups. One, Samashti Srishti, primary creation, the creation of Mahat, Ahankara, Tanmatra, and Panchabhuta are the five elements, which happens in a fraction of a second at the beginning of every Brahma. This happens at the beginning of the Purva Parartha, first half of Brahma's life. Vyashti Srishti, the secondary creation, is again two sections. One is creation of celestial beings, origin of sun, moon, creation of celestial forces like wind systems are explained here. Then again, the creation of beings. The secondary creation happens multiple times, spasmodically, at great intervals of time. At each secondary creation period, a large number of species are created, which we can compare to our modern idea of Cambrian explosion of species, during which billions of species originated on the Earth's surface, both water and on land. The secondary creation periods are separated by periods of mass extinction of species, which the Puranas refer to as the Pralaya period. The Puranas refer to 16 Prajapatis, indicative of 16 periods of secondary creation. Pralaya and the night of Brahma. There are 5 types of Pralaya. Manvantara Pralaya at the end of each Manu's period of 306 million years. And Kalpa Pralaya at the end of every daytime of Brahma, that is 4.3 billion years. And Prakrita Pralaya at the end of Brahma's life of 100 years, when all worlds also will merge and attain the position of the beginning of the creation. These three are geographical, physical, and nature. Then Dina Pralaya, night time of every individual. When we sleep, we don't know what happened. Next day we are awake, so that is called we are past the Pralaya. Then Adhyatmika Pralaya, we are in Samsara Sagara, the ocean of life, and we transcend, the soul transcend and reach God. So that is again crossing another Pralaya, that is known as Adhyatmika Pralaya. Permanent release of soul from the body are the two Pralayas, which are philosophical in nature. Night of Brahma. There are 14 Manu periods for every daytime of Brahma. At the end of each day, a Kalpa Pralaya happens when all species on earth perish. Then Brahma sleeps for a period equal to a Kalpa, which is called the night of Brahma, when the conditions on earth are not favorable for creation. The natural scientists show that after each mass extinction period, it takes a long time when species do not evolve due to adverse geographical conditions. Greater the damage caused to the Earth's surface by multiple factors like comet fall, release of submarine gases, the solar radiation, excessive solar radiation at long intervals of time. Earth will take more time to rectify itself and once more create a rain cycle, restoring a rain cycle. This point is well established in unambiguous terms in the Puranas also. Since during such period, Srishti is not possible, our seers visualize that condition as night of Brahma and assumed that it is his sleeping time. Dasavatars of Vishnu. In Bhagavata Purana, there are 22 avatars of Vishnu, and among them, 10 are called Mukhya avatars. Among them, Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Narasimha are considered to be divine avatars, as Lord Vishnu appears and disappears and not born. Other avatars are essentially human avatars, and they are born to earthly parents. There is a common notion that the order among the avatars are the 10 Mukhya avatars: Matsya, Kurma, Varaha, Nrisimha, Vamana, Parshurama, Sri Rama, Balarama, Sri Krishna, and Kalki is indicative of evolution of species as given by the natural scientists. However, in Puranas we don't find this order, and moreover we find divine avatars often repeat whenever conditions were similar. The divine avatars essentially connected with changes in global geography, whereas the human avatars deal with incidences in human evolution and history. The Dasavatars are distributed over a period of a kalpa in Puranas, where evolution of earth is very important. That is Bhagavata and Vishnu, for example, where human evolution is given importance. The Dasavatar take place in Vaivaswata Manvantara, 28 Catur Yugas of the Vaivaswata Manvantara, for example, Vayu Purana, Kurma Purana, where cultural geography is given importance. It is shown that the Dasavatars happen in the present Catur Yuga itself, that is Krita Yuga 4 avatars, Treta Yuga 3 avatars, Dwapara Yuga 2 avatars, and Kali 1 avatar, that is Kalki avatar. The long time scale of a Manvantara, that is 306 million years, and Kalpa 4.3 million years, is best suited for this study. The 12,000 year Catur Yuga calculation is a misfit here. Personification. Personification is the important technique widely used in the Puranas to simplify and convey complex concepts and explain geographical incidences. We mainly confuse them as personalities and dub the Puranas as bag of mythological stories. Devasura wars. Generally, earth building forces are Devic and personified as Devas. Forces which are engaged in affecting the earth conditions like stability are considered as Asuric and personified as Asura. Devasura wars are incidences and periods when cataclysmic changes are taking place on the globe. These cataclysmic changes take place in two ways. One, interruption to recreation or Pratisarga, or destruction of earth's surface. Here we must understand, according to most of the Puranas, it is clearly written that in every Manvantara, a set of Devendra, Agni, Vayu, Deva, Brihaspati and Devas are created. And then 7 rishis are created, and their life ends with the Manvantara. And in the next Manvantara, a new set of Devas are created. But what we find in the Puranas is, but most of the Devasura wars and most of the happenings of the bad deeds of Asuras have happened during Pralaya period. In that case, how do they survive? The question is that. So it shows that it's not merely personalities, but certain things that are happening in nature that we have to understand. So now let us see. These cataclysmic changes take place in two ways: interruption to recreation, Pratisarga, and destruction of the earth's surface. Asuras robbing Brahma Vedas during his sleep on Pralaya night. According to natural scientists, the conditions on the earth, the continents, climate, composition of gases, etc., change periodically. This results in alternate periods of explosion of species, where millions of species are created, evolve, and mass extinction of species, where millions of species die. But after mass extinction, since the composition of Earth has changed, creation should start, but new species are suited only to the new global environment. Since the elements are non-sentient, it requires the intervention of an intelligent being, that is God. We can compare this to a car factory. When one model is stopped or discontinued, a new set of design drawings is given for new production to the production manager. Brahma is the creator. During the great Pralaya, the species are destroyed by Pralaya fire. After Pralaya, the earth has changed. Under new circumstances, he cannot create species with his old knowledge. Vedas are lost. It is represented as loss of Veda. He is helped by Lord Narayana or Shiva, who gives him the required new knowledge, that is, gives new Vedas, similar to new design papers, and Brahma continues his creation activity. In the divine avatar of Matsya, Lord Vishnu kills Asura Somukha and restores the Vedas to Brahma after Pralaya. The stories of Earth being folded as mat and taken to Patala by Hiranyaksha, and the story of Madhukitapa. During the early stages of Earth history, the Earth crust was so thin that it often disappeared into the ocean floor. Later, when sufficient thickness is obtained, the continents became stable. In an earlier occasion, the Asura Hiranyaksha folded the earth as mat and took it into the ocean. Lord Vishnu took the avatar of boar, killed him, and brought earth to the surface. As the amplitude of the earth is now large, the earth did not sink. So this is the correlation between Puranic incident and the geography. Then, the continents are not stationary. They always be on the move. Often they form supercontinents by joining of all continents, and then they break off after some time. Yet history has shown that supercontinents tend to gather either around North Pole or South Pole. Indian tradition knows that North is the direction of Devas and South, often as the bottom area, as the direction of Asuras. Today, most of the continents are gathered around North Pole and Northern Hemisphere. 600 million years ago, during the Cambrian period, continents were around the South Pole. Here in these two maps, we can find the right side map refers to the present position of the continent. Most of them are in the Northern Hemisphere and moving towards the North Pole. And then 500 million years ago or 600 million years ago, or during the period of Cambrian period, what they call in geography and natural history, most of the continents are in the confined to the Antarctica region or in the South Pole region. So the south is known as Patala. So Asuras have taken the land and God has restored the land. Nothing happens on a single day. It's not said. It takes its own time, but the event is described in this manner. When Madhu Kitapa went into the ocean, Lord Vishnu killed them and took the Medas, flesh of their body, 2 heads, 2 trunks, 4 legs, and 4 arms, totally 12, and made 12 flat plates and firmly fixed them under the bottom of the ocean, so that the Asuras cannot fold the earth and carry the earth into the ocean. So this is the Purana and Devi Purana and all many Puranas. The story of Madhukaitapa is well written with small variation. But we know that these details are available in, that is, at the bottom, plates were created and it was hardened and then placed so that the Asuras cannot fold again, the earth will not go, land will not go below the sea. That's given. But we have got the plate tectonic theory, which was developed in the year 1962. According to this theory, we have got 2 layers. The earth Earth surface is having two layers, Sial and Sima. That's called Earth crust is made up of two layers. And top layer is Sial, silicates of aluminum is made up of, the continents are made up of this. And then below the continents and oceans, the Sima layer is there, which is denser and thicker. So there are ocean plates, there are land continental plates, they are ocean continental mixed plates. And number of plates is actually only less than 20, and there are minor plates also there. And so they start moving from one place to another, and this moves the continent. So the plate movement moves the continent. So we have got 2000 years or more ago, our seers have understood that the bottom portion of the ocean is more responsible for the continental movement, and continents are always in the movement. Their main characteristic is not stationary, they move from place to place. All these ideas are to a great extent known to our ancestors, and they are recorded in the Puranic history or Puranic Chronicles. Personification, another thing. More stories of personification. Before Narada was born, there was no water on earth. After his birth, water came to earth by heavy rain. This aspect, and next point, Rudra Siddhi was terrible. Brahma destroyed all of them and cast off his body. Like this, in the early stages, he cast off his body 4 times. And all these have got the geographical significance. We can correlate them with the modern ideas, but I will reserve them to the next lecture where we deal about them in the Bhagavata Purana. Now, I give 1 or 2 ideas which are not found in Bhagavata Purana, but which will be also connected to the personification. That is, in Puranas, we refer so and so had done it, this Rishi has done it, this person, Manasaputra of the Brahma has done it. They are not person, they refer to some force or some action, some phenomena in nature that has happened during that period. We have to assume like that. We should be able to distinguish between the story part and the scientific part. For example, in the previous Madhukitapa story, Madhukitapa took the Vedas from the Brahma, so they go into the ocean. So that story, Vishnu goes, kills everything, will be a nice story. But where is the exact thing is, he killed them, and what is about Medas, whether we could convert Medas into a hardened flat earth, that these are not questions. But the idea is that bottom of the ocean is made into some firmly surface which are now known in geography as plates. So the central idea we have to and we have to understand, and around the central idea all the stories are woven. If we understand the central ideas present in each story, we would get wonderful scientific information from the Puranic narratives, which some of them I will explain in more detail in the next lecture. Prithu is born in every Manvantara and recreates the continent. Continents, supercontinents and breaking of continents are not one single event in the earth history. It happens multiple times or periodically. So we say Srimad Bhagavata refers to one Prithu creating continents and dividing continents, the breaking of the continent into 7 parts during the Chakshusha Manvantara or 6th Manvantara end period. But other Puranas give clearly that Prithu are the earth creating force. That is why Prithu created, so it's known as Prithvi. So earth creating force creates supercontinent, and from supercontinent, continents are created, that is broken, and continents are created. Each Manvantara, one Prithu born and recreate the continent. So 6 times already he had done, and for in the last 7 Manvantaras, he has already created 6 or 7 times the continent. Scientists say that at least 6 times supercontinents building and subsequent breaking has taken place in our earth. For example, they give also They have named them as a period of Nina, Rodinia, Pangea, and Gondwana. And 2 or 3 must have also happened for which we don't have evidence, material evidence. In every Manvantara, a set of 49 maruts or winds are created. Of them, 22 are old one and 27 are new. See, to understand the Puranic narratives, we should possess enough knowledge about modern geography, modern science. Without that, we may not appreciate the ideas given in the Puranas. Here, what we find is that wind system, as the earth composition of gases changes, as the continents join and break in different shapes and sizes, different direction, the climate of the earth will be go on changing periodically. So that's what every Manvantara is changed. So, but some changes, some so new continents will be of different sizes, oceans will be of different sizes, so the pressure systems will be different, the temperature belts will be different, and based on that the wind belts will be different, but certain belts will be common. For example, those wind belts connected to the earth crust or earth surface, that is the what is known as the equatorial region, equatorial low, subtropical high pressure, subpolar low pressure, polar high pressure. So these 7 belts will not change. Whatever may be the size of the continent, whatever may be number of continents, whatever may be size of the ocean, etc., these 7 belts will be there. 7, according to this 7, wind belts also will be there. Like that, ocean and land breeze, mountains, valley breeze, like that. Certain important 22. Here, Puranas give 22. The number may change this way, that way, no problem. But our number given in the Puranas to a great extent coincide with the number actually given in geography and climatology. That is very important. So on 27, new systems will develop. For example, 4,000, 5,000 years back, there was no movement of El Nino or La Nino. Today they have happened. So like the new systems will develop. So 22 are old and 27 are new. So even this idea is wonderful. But the stories, how the Maruts were created, Indra killed in the Titi's Garbha, and the fortress, etc., etc. That is very interesting to remember. But the central idea is the wind systems are partly constant, partly changed. Then Himalayas have roots. Many Puranas, when they describe, also Mahabharata, when they describe the mountain, they also say how many yojanas the height from the surface and how many yojanas below the surface. Till 1987, till the geodetic survey was conducted in India, that is the triangulation survey or map making was done in India. In the whole world, people thought, or geographers thought, geologists thought, the mountains are located on the flat plain or flat earth. But when they studied this during the survey period, they understood that Himalayas pass below the ground thousands of meters. So mountains have got roots. And specifically, Srimad Bhagavatam and other Puranas state the mountains are so many thousand yojanas above the ground and also below the ground. So we have that idea enshrined in our Puranas some 3000 years back. Then Himalayas receive greater amount of snowfall from the Bay of Bengal and the Arabian Sea, Purvottara Sagar. See, again, when we read this sentence or this sloka, in single sloka, it is given in Skanda Purana. Skanda Purana refers to the great snowfall and the great rivers that are originating from the snow fields of the Himalayas. How do they get so much water? It gives a very nice idea. So this, till date, the geographers or climatologists have not thought about. Their climatology books, what they give is that the main source of water to the Himalayan region, that is the greater Himalayas or inner Himalayas, The Himalayas are three groups, that is outer Himalayas, that is Shivalik, then middle Himalayas up to 4,000 meters, and then greater Himalayas or Himadri. The monsoon wind do not reach the Himadri at all, because they, by the time they go to the middle Himalayas, they stopped with the middle Himalayas, they become dry, so they don't go. The real source of water is the cyclonic wind that are coming from Atlantic. So from Atlantic during winter season, cyclonic winds are coming. They give more than about 100 inches of rain to the Alps mountain region for about 600 kilometers. Then they travel another 1,000 kilometers and pass through the Pontic and Taurus mountains in the Turkey. And then another 500 kilometers they travel to Iran, Zagros, Elburz mountain, they give rain. And then again travel about 1,000 kilometers, the Hindu Kush mountain in Himalayas, and give 5 to 10 centimeters of snowfall. Whether this 5 to 10 centimeters snowfall is enough to generate so much water in all the streams, no geographer has questioned. But actually, when I actually worked out, it seems that all the streams, main streams, the total volume of water flowing in all the main streams in the originating from the Alps mountain, the Pontic Taurus, and then the Zagros Elbrus of Iran, they total and come to about 55% of the water flowing in Ganga river alone. So we have got Ganga river, so another 40% extra. And then we have got Satluj river, we have got Indus river, we have got Brahmaputra river, we have got Kosi river. So how do they get so much moisture? When the total amount of moisture in the western side is very low. That we get a clue from the Purana. So this Kanda Purana says, from the month of Chaitra to next 8 months, water is absorbed by wind, by to the surface, to the sky, and after 8 months, next 4 months, it is poured in the Himalayas in the form of snow. So Purvottara Sea from Bay of Bengal and Arabian Sea, moisture is taken and carried by winds and deposited in to the Himalayas, higher Himalayas, in the form of in the snowfall. So this beautiful thing is actually a very nice geographical fact should be studied by geographers. The sloka is okay. We can conclude this lecture with the sloka in the Bhagavad Purana 12th skanda. Bhagavan Veda Kalasya Gatim Bhagavato Nanu Vishwam Vichakshate Dhira Yoga Sabdena Chakshusha. God knows everything because He is the creator. Our rishis know the same by their yogic power, contemplation and tapas. So in this way, we can find that lot of geographical ideas, scientific ideas are embedded in our Puranas. And if only we make a proper study, we can unearth lot of facts and pass it on to our generation. In our next lecture, I will take up Bhagavata Purana and try to share with you the ideas, the scientific ideas that are present in Bhagavata Purana with a special reference to evolution of Earth. Thank you very much. I once more thank the organizers of the Swatantra Bharat 75 series lectures organized by Vivekananda Kendra Kanyakumari and Vivekananda Prabodhini of Mumbai. Namaste.